Hello, second graders. Welcome to a new social study lesson. Please get your book ready and open page 76. We are in lesson 4. As you know, we're still in chapter 2. We learn and cover the parts with we learn about maps and find places. We also learn about where are you in the world. So we learn about your great maps. We also learn about geography and how geography affect the way people use lands. Today, we're going to learn how to describe our environment. So as you see, for this lesson, you will be learning how to describe the feature of our environment and explain why it's special. We're going to learn about how can we use evidence from the text and picture to understand the chapter and we understand about our lesson. So as we see here, if we look at page 77, we have two pictures. One of them, as we see two girls, they are on a beach, that it's hot and sunny and the land is flat. I see the sand and see the water. And up there, I can see a boy in the forest that it's rocky and bright and he's like, enjoying the outdoor. So let's start. All right, page 78 and 79. Weather in the United States. The United States is a special place for many reasons. It has interesting landforms, features, and people. People like to travel all over the United States. Each region has different weather. Look at the graphs here to see how much rain falls in two different cities. Topeka, Kansas, in the central part of the United States, and Buffalo, New York, is in the northeast. A lot of rain falls in Buffalo. This is because it's next to the Lake Erie, a great lake. And we can see how the rainfall amounts and different in two different parts, in Kansas and in New York. Temperature, or how hot or cold the air is, and rain are two ways that we tell about weather. So if it's hot or cold, or how much rain we get, that's how we can describe the weather. We can better understand weather in a region by looking at its climate. Climate is the weather in a place over a long time. Climate affects the environment. The environment is all of the natural things that are around us on Earth. These things include land, water, air, and trees. The environment in the United States is special. It's different in different regions. It's different on the coast, by the ocean, and then it's away from the ocean. So as we know, if you go to the previous pages, we see here children are doing different activities because the climates are different. So some of them are swimming on a beach, playing on the sand, it's sunny, and some can do some hiking or camping because the climates is different. Let's see some of the activities we have here. Look at the title at the label and labels on the graphs. What do you think the graphs shows? So I can tell that average of rain that show in page 78 and page 79, the average of rain in all around the year. How many rain inches in January, in February, in March, April, May, June, July, August, all the way till the end of the year. I can also compare and see how much rain in Kansas, for example, in May, like 5 inches, and I can look here in New York, in May, it's 3.5. So I can tell that which month, in which part of the states or which area get more rain, or the opposite, get less rain. Okay, circle words you don't know in the text. So landforms, it's the features of like how flat, mountainous. Environment could be a new word also. Underline words that tell about the weather. So I know that hot or cold air or rain are two ways to give descriptive to the weather. Like I can describe the weather by it's hot or cold, dry or rainy. All right, let's go next page. Over here, what we're going to learn and talk about key details. So I know that there's a main topic and I know the details, and we agree details is our information that make me understand and help me to understand the main idea. So usually the details, it's the extra information, help me to understand what my topic is. So as we have the chart, we have two columns. One says topic and one says key details. I know that the first one says weather. So I need to find weather. So we know that weather is the temperature, like we say hot or cold, and rain tell about weather. That's exactly what we had in the previous page here. We say temperature, or how hot or cold the air is, and rain are two ways to tell about the weather. So we're gonna write this down here. So we can write temperature and rain tell about. So that's the first key detail that I have it with the main idea or the main topic, weather. Okay, how about the climate now? We'll go for the second one, climate. If you remember, we said that the climate is the weather over a long time, and that's how we get the climate. So climate affects the environment, and it's also the weather over a long time. So that's how we can tell that by calculating and knowing the climate and the weather in a place over a long time. So we can predict what will happen, what's the temperature, or how much inches of rain will be for this area. So let's write down this one also. Now I know the climate is the weather over a long time. All right. Okay, let's go for next page, page 81. Now we have another chart, and we have US environment. We have plains, we have mountains and forests, and we have waterways and coasts. So we have 3 bars or 3 rows, and we have details. So again, we have the main topic and we have the key details that we will fill the information here. So let's go to our book and read the information we have. Right? How can we describe the weather, or how can we describe our environment? The environment is around us. Each region of the United States has a different environment. Each one has unique landforms and interesting habitats. A landform is a shape of the land. Plains are one kind of landform. Mountains are another. A habitat is a place full of living and non-living things. All the things in the habitat interact with each other. So as we look here,
The Mojave Desert is a habitat. A desert is a very dry place.
so as we see the birds eating a little lizard, and we see also that it's dry land, it's desert, and you see less plants or less green. Plains. Much of the land in the United States is made up of plains. Plains are a large area of flat land. The Great Plains are an area of the central United States. They stretch all the way from Canada down into Texas. So Great Plains have a great natural resource, rich soil. A natural resource is something in nature that people use. Farmers in the Great Plains can grow many crops. All right, so this is a flat plains now. Mountains and forest. Mountains are another type of landform. They rise high above the land around them. Group of mountain is a mountain range. There are large mountain ranges in the east and west parts of the United States. Mountains are often covered in beautiful forests. Many plants and animals grow and live here. Trees are an important natural resources in this environment. So as we see two different landforms. So we have the plains, that's flat land, and we have the mountainous part of the mountains that can be covered by either snow or greens or trees. So now we have so far two types of landform or lands. Waterways and coasts. The United States isn't all land. It has many important lakes and rivers. These are an important sources of water in the United States. People need water for drinking, growing food, and many other things. So Mississippi and Missouri rivers are the longest rivers in the country. Great Lakes are some of the biggest lakes in the world. Marshes, ponds, and other small water sources are important too. They are home to a lot of unique plants and animals. As we see here, the Sleeping Bear Dunes rise over Lake Michigan. Let's see, what did you know? Alaska had the most coastline of all the states. In fact, it has about half of the coastline of the entire United States. So half of the coastline in Alaska. All right, let's go for next page. Many rivers empty into the sea at the coast. The coast is where the land meets the sea. The United States has coasts along the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and the Gulf of Mexico. Part of Alaska's coast is also on the Arctic Ocean. The coasts have important natural resources. People get gravels, fuels, and minerals from coasts. So we get all this from the coast. So now that's another land, or as we say, another part of our environment. So we get the dry land, we get the desert, and we get the water coast or the waterways. All right. So here also we have some area in Nevada, we have the deserts, we have the mountains up there, and we can also see different parts on the mountains. All right, let's go to our questions. Page 81. So we have the environment, US environment, we have plains, we have mountains and forests, and we have waterways and coasts. And we need to look for key details. So we know that this is the main topic, and we're looking now for extra information or more information and details to fill our part here. So let's write this down. And we'll start with the plains, the first part. So what did we learn about it? That it includes flat land, and we also learned that the Great Plains have good, rich soil for farming. So let's write down. It includes flat land, and we know that plains have good, rich soil for farming. All right, let's go for mountains and forests. So we know that mountains are often have forests. People use trees to make paper. So we have a use of the trees in furniture, and we're trying not to chop and keep our forest green in order to keep our environment and earth enjoyable, so to live in. So we can say mountains, has have forests, trees. Okay, waterways, so waterways provide water for us to drink, right? For farming too. So it's a important source for drinking and farming. And we also learned that coasts have important natural resources. Maybe you stretch this a little bit. All right. Okay. Let's turn the page and see the next activity. So page 82, we have two questions. Define or just say what's the environment. So the environment is all the natural things that are around us on Earth. So we can write this down. So what's the environment? It's the environment is all the natural things that are around us. All right. Choose second one. Choose a feature that you read about. Tell where you can find it. Describe the features. So you can choose anything in a region of the United States. So you can describe it. You can use the coasts. You can use any landform that you like to describe it. So you can use mountains, waterways, whatever you like. And you can talk about how does it look like, which part in the States, and how the weather look like over there. All right. Okay, let's see what we have here. Imagine that you are visiting a place near you. What landforms and features does it have? What makes it special? Write a sentence about the place and then draw it. So let's say if you live nearby the beach, so you can say that you're living nearby the beach. What's the feature or how the landforms look like? So it's coast, they have water, and you can draw it. Or let's say you are nearby mountain. So you're going to talk about the mountain, and then you're going to draw it, and you can see what kind of activity you could be doing in the mountain that nearby you, or a lake, or if you're living nearby lake. All right, that's it for today's second graders. So we talked about the environment, we described the environment, we learn about different landforms, and we learn about climate and weather. We know that climate affects the environment, and we know that the weather is a temperature of hot or cold, or how much rain that we can get. All right, that was it for today's lesson. Thank you.